We have had a doozy of a day.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.
Welcome to the Horror Basement, where we talk about horror and all kinds of other stuff. I'm one of the hosts, Johnny. We have Jim Jam, Yeti, and Angela here with us.
Jim Jam here.
Hey.
Hey.
And we're serving up horror all over the land like biscuits and gravy. Just so you know, we're doing video podcasts. If you want to go watch it, it's a shit show. Or it has been. This one has been frustrating for me. I'm just going to call him out right now.
Because he's a bitch.
You want to
absolute
do shit
dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire. No, I'm just playing.
And Angela,
sorry, Jimmy.
And Angela just had the longest yawn I've ever seen in my life.
She's already bored because she's been on here for 45 minutes and we haven't done shit.
I'm on my third beer.
Well, maybe we'll get a good Yeti rant out of this.
Better slow down. No, but in all seriousness, go follow us on our Instagram and Facebook and all that stuff. And
down here, if you're watching, you can see that. Motherfucker, I don't get the mark. Hold up. But yeah.
I ain't worried about that. There's merch at TeePublic and all that stuff. But we're going to talk news. Then Jamie Lee Curtis directing a horror film and horror on how it affects children. Succubus, and the movie of the week is Porno. So let's go first with the news. This was just out this past week. Ryan Gosling will star as Wolfman in the latest monster movie for Universal. I mean, plus, there's no plot or nothing on that right now. But I guess with the success of The Invisible Man, The Mummy flopped, or I don't know if it flopped. Did it flop?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they put way too much money into that. They didn't need to. I think they were trying to make it bigger than it needed to be.
Well, they don't even know if Ryan Gosling will star in it because he's starring in another movie, an astronaut movie. And stuff.
Really?
So, but that's what the creator or the potential script writers wanted. So Jason Blum's wife and her partner, who did the Orange is the New Black, is set. I don't know if they're going to be the writers or not, but they were mentioned. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about how you feel about that, but
what, Blumhouse doing it?
What's that?
Blumhouse doing it or having?
No. Jason Blum's wife is one of the writers. Lauren Schuler Blum.
Yeah.
Or Shulker or whatever, Shucker or something like that.
I don't know anything about her, so.
Yeah, she's her and the other person who they're staff writers for Orange is the New Black, and so they were talking about having them write, and they had wanted Ryan Gosling. So they said that in the article that 3 other people put their pitches in along with some others, and they mentioned James Wan, Paul Feast, and John Krasinski. Jeez. I think out of all of them, I think I say we just bring back Lee Wynell again. Him and James Wan can work together again, I think they would do something really cool with it. I don't really like any of the other choices. I mean, John did The Quiet Place 1 and 2, and then you have Paul, and he's known for the 2016 Ghostbusters and Bridesmaids, and he's directed a lot of single episodes on like Park and Rec, Mad Men, Arrested Development, Freaks and Geeks, but I don't know. I just don't think any of them would capture the tone at all. And I definitely, you have James and Lee, who both have script writing experience as well as directing and all that, and I think they make magic when they're together. So
and they're giving Paul Feig a movie, another the Dark Army. Mm-hmm. He's gonna be directing that for Universal too, and
is it gonna be a complete shit show?
It feels like it because I feel like with somebody like that, it's all Hollywood. It's not, you know.
With Paul Feig, especially lately, it's all fucking identity politics. That dude's a fucking worm.
Yeah.
You know, it's I don't know. I would like to see Lee Wanell come back because Invisible Man was fucking great.
Yeah, it was good, and he has such a nice eye. Him and Juan both have really nice eyes in capturing a feel. So.
Or even
Ty West would be a lot of fun, I think.
I would even go as far as like Mike Flanagan.
Yeah, sure.
I like Flanagan's eye.
I think any of those guys have great aesthetic and everything, and I would definitely enjoy to see, seeing what they would come up with. The problem is like I said, you get to Hollywood and then they want to create the Mummy all over again. And it's, the big stars and do all the CGI, and I don't know. That's why
it turns into a message movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck.
Or it's all CGI and all that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't watch The Mummy, so I didn't even watch the ones with Brandon Fraser in it.
I liked them a lot
Those
better.
Aren't bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't watch them. When they come out, it's just like,
Is that still a Universal movie? The ones with Brandon Fraser?
I think.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure.
I mean,
pretty sure they are.
Based off of The Mummy.
I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure they are. But what do y'all think about Ryan Gosling, though, if he's attached to it?
I mean, I like him, but it doesn't do anything for me. Like I said, it kills the feel, kills the vibe. It makes it too Hollywood, so to speak.
Yeah. I couldn't pick the guy out of a lineup, honestly. Like, I don't know what he's been in.
You ever watch Drive?
Yeah.
He's been in The Notebook.
Maybe.
The Notebook. Drive where he smashes dude's head in while they're in an elevator? Crushes his head?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, it's a really good movie. I really enjoyed Drive. So.
Yeah, I mean, he's good.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's
I haven't watched a lot of his movies.
I want to look for in the movie.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, it's newsworthy. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
But let's move into Jamie Lee Curtis. I think did we talk about that on the other podcast? Anyways, she's going to be directing or set to direct a horror movie, and we brought up the question after what she said is should she, and then the effects of horror on children. Like, what are the effects of horror on children? We all grew up. I think we're like, it's how many generations is it now that have grown up with horror in their life as far as movies go? It's been a while now. So when you got at least 4 or 5 generations, I mean,
yeah.
What is considered a generation though? Is it every 20 years or 30 years? Probably should look that up before I brought that up, but
I don't know. I think it's just I'm not really sure where the actual demarcation is there. But like, I don't know. Like we discussed this like amongst ourselves before, and my thing is
about 30 years. Sounds right.
Jamie Lee Curtis, she's been in some stuff, and she's directed like some TV episodes or whatever. She's been in horror movies and stuff, and she's, especially lately, she's been getting all this fucking big, the big huzzah for fucking Halloween or whatever, which, I mean, I'm not discounting Halloween. Fucking keep your torches and pitchforks at home,
yeah,
please.
I'm about to say, motherfucker about to jump on you.
But anyway, but she's like, she doesn't like horror films, and if you're in front of the camera as an actor or actress, and you're not a huge fan of the genre, I don't think it matters as long as you show up and fucking do your goddamn job and go home, right? As long as you look good on screen, you're fucking solid. But I feel like to direct a successful horror movie, you have to have a heart for it. You got to have a mind for it, So, and I really think that the passion that I think you really need to make a good horror movie comes from a love of the genre. That's just me personally. I could be fucking wrong. I'm good at that. But,
I think it definitely can make a difference. When you have a passion for it's just like anything. If you have a passion for it, it's going to show. It's going to come out. And I guess she had criticized. Was criticizing parents when a 5-year-old came up to her with the parent says, "Oh, my kid loves Halloween," and she just couldn't believe that the parent allowed their kid to watch a horror movie, and that is pretty young. I think there's certain things. So the problem is everybody really goes on the old study that was done by Harrison and Cantor out of the University of Wisconsin, which really, I think, put the fear in parents to some extent, because they said that on younger children, when they're allowed to view horror movies, it has lasting effects on them, such as trauma and anxiety disorders. And so, I don't know. Jamie said that she would let her son play, video games, and then one time it just kind of occurred to her, like, wait a second, what am I doing? And she took it away from him, seeing all the violence and everything. But I think there's, with today, if you look at maybe more current studies, it shows, sure, it can have effects on kids, but they're not truly harmful. So it's kind of, it creates some fear and experience that, you can get enjoyment through, like adrenaline rush, like a roller coaster ride or something. And not only that, every child's different. So, it's kind of like the negative effects, you just kind of got to weigh them out. They have nightmares, which is, who doesn't? Scary, dark, you might want to check under the bed more, stuff like that. Yeah. We have the emotion theory, which is our interpretation of the same psychological events that can be
You're
basically
in the dark.
It just depends on the individual. So, in other words, everybody's going to interpret what's scary differently.
Right.
And then, go ahead.
I think with a lot with showing kids horror movies, I think it's the parents. Like, I don't believe you're like the worst parent in the world if, like, Jamie Lee Curtis said some shit about, but I wouldn't show my kid's 9. I still wouldn't show him the original Halloween. Because mostly because of all the sex in it, not even because of the violence. And I think it's about, but that's just, it's that weird American thing. But I think it's about knowing your kid and knowing what they can handle and understanding their personality, and then parenting through any effects afterwards. We started my boy off with Little Shop of Horrors, and we ended up with the original theatrical cut that had Audrey 2 taking over the world. Had to parent through that one a little bit, because he was, he's used to happy endings and stuff. But like The Conjuring, stuff like that, nothing super violent, but, supernatural spooky shit. Loves it. But I know I'm not going to show him, slashers and shit, huh?
Yeah.
My wife argues for 21.
So is it 18 when he gets to see
which is
your favorite movie?
Debated down from never.
I'm assuming we're talking about Martyrs.
Yeah, Martyrs or a Serbian film or
I have a feeling.
Any of my top ones, it's just like no.
Well, my thing is like we grew up, a lot of us, especially in the 90s when it really hit. What was the scary stories to tell in the dark?
Yeah.
when that come out, and then people got on the train like R.L. Stein with the Goosebumps and a more kid friendly-ish horror, but it's still scary stuff for kids, and it's just toned down a little bit. But I mean, it's our generation grew up with it. Now, are we different? I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you if we are or not.
Well, every generation
just
had
more
it. I
prevalent
mean, you got to think even back to the black and white. I mean, first you had
everything
the,
that we see
like
on TV,
Universal monsters and all that. But then the movies changed, and they went into sci-fi kind of horror and transitioned to whatever the times were. So it's always been there. I mean.
Even Twilight Zone, like growing up in because if I was in that era, because I watched Twilight Zone anyways.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I would have, that would have been a weekly watch, right?
And then I mean, I think the one thing that can happen is like with classical conditioning, you can with horror movies, it can create new fears through association, and that does happen. Trust me, I've experienced it on the job when I have to stand next to dead bodies, and I'm just like, oh, please.
please stay dead.
So, yeah.
So if they were to come back to life, would you scream?
I'd be worrying more about spirits fucking haunting you the rest of your life.
There's a lot to it.
She's over there with her holy water and her freaking cross, throwing it at him.
I don't know if you're able
to forehead.
I don't know if you're able to talk about this, but have you experienced like going to a scene and then get spooked by a dead body, like you wasn't expecting it to be there?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, I have. Yes, we were actually all responding to. I'll make it fast. A building. It was 2 floors, and it was a big kind of like U-shaped, kind of like a circular apartment building, and so we all spread out. And we saw a front door ajar, so we thought, oh, this might be it, since it was a burglary in progress call. And we opened the door and we couldn't get it open, and there was a dead body right there, and it had nothing to do with why we were there.
Oh gosh. Huh.
Yeah, and that's the one I got left alone with.
It's lovely, right?
What's that?
I said that was lovely, right?
Yeah, it was a little freaky. And of course, naked, you find that a lot. Naked, or her panties were down to her ankles. So.
While she's dead?
Yeah, they say that you get the feeling of defecation. So I wonder if some people are like, oh, trying to pull your pants down and everything.
I don't know.
Yeah.
This is the horror basement. That's horror shit.
Yeah. But I think our generation grew up with horror more prevalent because of, like I say, all the kid push, like themed stuff that was put toward us. Which I know there were books and children's books even back in the day that were written, scary stories, and so the effect, like I don't know. The original Halloween, like Yeti said, maybe because of the sex, but you could watch a TV version of it, and would that change your mind? Yeti?
No, I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like where it didn't have the sex, but because there's no blood.
I would show it to him earlier than I would as opposed to like an uncut version.
Because I mean, it's a PG-13 movie, right?
No, it's rated R.
That is. Oh, I guess I was just thinking there's hardly any blood, so.
No.
It's that one shot of blood, and.
The only reason it's R rated because there's sex.
Oh well, you could probably
in my head, it's the ghosts and goblins and monsters and shit that are less scary than Homeboy in overalls stabbing folks in the face.
Something that can be real, the reality.
Yeah.
That's why I like. Has he seen The Lost Boys?
Not yet, no.
Because, I mean, that right there, growing up 10, 11 years old, I was in love with that movie.
I don't recall that having sex in it.
No, I'm just thinking vampires.
I'm just saying that, so. But is there a lot of gore?
Who?
I guess there's a lot of gore.
Boys? Well, he bites that one dude's head and it blood just goes spewing out. But I mean, that was about it. I don't really recall a whole.
We're debating on what Yeti's son should watch.
Yeah,
Remember
look
you
at
and the
all of
Lost
us.
Boys. I mean, that's it.
I mean, all of us in the horror community. I mean, you got some of the best people
Yeah.
and stuff, and thoughtful and just cool, interesting, creative, diverse, and it's a lot of. I don't know. I don't think it's so bad. I mean, I think some kids can't handle it, but then again, I also think some of it gets picked up from their parents.
Yeah.
You have that overbearing, overprotective, freak out over every little thing.
Well, that's like some kids can go through a haunted house at the age of 7, 8 years old, 6, but then some of them can't go to one until they're like 17 years old.
You get a lot of these, like even in the
just because they're scared.
In the horror community, or directors or whatnot of horror movies, they'll sit down with their kids and they're like, go talk to them. Like, this is make believe, this is, makeup, and maybe even show them some, and then they watch the movie together and what'd you think? Or they might start out with something basic like Creature from the Black Lagoon, and Goosebumps, Mr. Boogedy, something that's light-hearted and hocus pocus, and then you kind of work your way up to see what they can tolerate and stuff. So I don't know. I was watching full-blown horror at 4 or 5 years old, I remember. So without the permission of my parents, of course, but and look at me, I'm fine.
Well, and I think that goes with, like you said, the mentality of like Yeti was saying, too, like, you got to know your kid, whether your child, whether they can handle it. And that's where, like I said, the haunted house thing, it's like, well, you've already shown your kids some horror movies and told them it's all fake. It's not real. Yeah, they'll get scared in it, but it's not going to be lasting. It's going to go away. It's not going to stay with them. It's not forever.
That's the whole point of it. It's fun.
And my thing,
get scared.
It's jump scares. It's not like I'm scared to be here.
Well,
you know what I mean?
The great thing about horror is it's basically a mind fuck on the brain, because the brain gets stimulated, and even though it's not real, it thinks that the situation is real. And so it takes your amygdala and then it transfers all of that, to the hypothalamus, and it's like, okay, we got to get going. It triggers that fight or flight, that adrenaline, and that's what's so fun about it, and we know it's fake, but yet it still feels real. It feels like it's happening to us,
That's if you with us that time, we went to theater, and there's a guy there that kept screaming.
I don't think so.
No. Okay. Yeah, we was in Murfreesboro. I can't remember what movie we went and watched.
Yeah, what movie would you scream at?
I think it was the new Annabelle movie that come out last year, maybe, or the beginning of this year, whichever it was. But yeah, that dude was screaming, cussing, like he was legit scared.
That man was on drugs.
It was funny for a while, but then it got obnoxious. And it was just like, shut the fuck up, dude. Damn. It's not that scary.
And this is the reason why I don't like going to theaters with a heavily populated area. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You go to a smaller place that has a theater that's not as big, and there's not as many people, so not as many people show up. And they're just more polite, it seems like. I still haven't ran into that problem where someone is loud through the whole thing, or I just ignore it for some reason because I'm just enjoying the film. Or maybe I'm that person. I don't know.
You're the loud one?
I mean, because I'm over there laughing out loud and, and just, but I don't know. I mean, if it's funny, I'm going to laugh,
Yeah.
But I don't sit there and scream and, oh, fuck. Like, oh my God.
And he was like, run, bitch, run!
Oh, yeah, no. That's just someone fucking being obnoxious to just be an asshole.
I think towards the end, people started telling him, shut the fuck up, yet.
So I would have been like, you need to shut the fuck up. You need to run your fucking ass out of here. Fuck that.
You need to damn give me my money back. You ruined the movie for me.
I don't enjoy that at all. So, what's everybody else like? The audience, let us know what your opinion is on kids and horror. Like, what age they should watch it. I'm over here listening to because I'm thinking of the podcast and all that stuff. But let's move on into Succubus. Succubus. Y'all will probably be better at this than me. So if I know Angela did, I'm over here pointing at her as if she is on my tape, but the camera's up there. I mean,
I thought Yeti would like to start this one off.
Yeah, if Yeti wants to start it,
I can kind of jump in with you.
Because I mean, I could read the definition of a succubus, but I mean,
we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, bare bones in it, a succubus is a female demon who, for whatever end, has like tempts males and has sex with them for some nefarious end. There's, if you go all the way back to the Malefice Maleficarium, which is like the most metal fucking name for a book ever written. It translates well too. It's the Hammer of Witches. Yeah. It's a English witch hunting guide. The succubus comes at night, steals the semen from men, and then takes that semen back, gives it to the incubus, which is the male version of the succubus, and then the incubus uses that semen to impregnate women to then have children who are susceptible to demonic attack.
Yeti. I just had a revelation.
No.
Another revelation. The succubus got me that time.
We'll get to that. Actually, okay. We'll get to that.
All right.
But first off, though, do you hear how ridiculous that is? Like, someone wrote that in the book, and people took it as fact.
Yeah.
That's how men explain cheating.
We're getting to that, too. There was a pope who actually admitted to having a long-term relation with his succubus.
Yeah.
It was Pope Sylvester II, and he met this woman before he became the Pope and knew her to be a succubus and continued a relationship with her after becoming a member of the clergy and then after becoming the Pope, even though his vows said that he couldn't. And then on his deathbed, he confessed that he had had a relationship with a succubus, which is, again, horse shit. Absolute horse shit. And
isn't that where he explained her out so well that it made it to where a succubus used to be ugly and deformed and demonic and just,
well,
it isn't hot. But then after the Pope did that, that's when the form started changing into a more beautiful woman and moving, because before it was just in your dreams. That's when a succubus would come, right?
Well,
but see, there's so many forms of a succubus.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorry.
Sorry, I didn't want to steal your thunder, Yeti. Sorry.
All right, go ahead, Angela.
No, I was just going to say there's just so many variations. She appears in like Sumerian, Egyptian, Greek, Roman, Judaic, Christian mythology. I guess she first appeared in Sumerian culture as a goddess of fertility and witchcraft. And then in Assyrian and Babylonians associated her with dark demons. The Greeks extended her story by for saying how beautiful and attractive she was, and Zeus was so taken by her that Hera, his wife, transformed her into a monstrous form to roam the world and seduce men and eat babies. And then Judeo-Christian described her as Adam's first wife. And since she wasn't meek and refused to honor Adam, That's awesome. She went off exploring and discovered the Red Sea where hordes of demons lived and mated with them and having more than 100 babies a day, which, wow, that's got to stretch out the tummy.
That's like specific to
succubi.
Yeah, that's specific to like Lilith as a being. There's some who believe that it was she was, because like her story is, there's so many sources on it. It's like, was it that she wouldn't be subservient, or that she wasn't trying to be on the bottom, like she refused the missionary position, and then was like, from the
as
Talmud.
in man won't rule over me. I'm a woman, and a man won't rule over me.
Yeah, like more metaphorical.
Yeah.
She
they both mean this, pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
I was just putting in if someone didn't understand.
Oh yeah.
I wonder what's her.
There's some people that might.
I wonder what's her take on doggy style then.
She probably loves it.
Is that a submissive move too?
Go ahead,
Yeti.
But it's crazy because in some she is Adam's first wife, and like we just talked about, and then in some I think the cool one is that she leaves the Garden of Eden and speaks God's true name and becomes a demon, and then becomes like the consort of Asmodeus, and like mothers all these demons.
Which
and
are
then
the succubi.
Yeah. And then
I also like the version of that they think that she could potentially also be one and the same, meaning that the succubi, which is the female, has, after collecting the semen, has the chance then to kind of turn herself into the incubi, and boom, voila.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is if she can change herself, well, it's a demon, so even calling it a she, it's just, that's human labels, you know what I'm saying? But as far as a demon goes, like an incubi or whatever, incubus, if they could be a female, succubus or whatever, why was it?
Succubus is the female, incubi is the male.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but how do you label a demon as a female or a male? They're
just
fucking
by
demons.
The form. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
Well, it's the story that was told is what I'm getting at. It just they want to put a label to make a woman look really bad back in the day.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion, but
my whole thing is everywhere that I've read is that they come to you at night.
Yeah.
So, and while you're sleeping and so forth.
Yeah, in your dreams.
And I'll touch on that later, why I bring that up.
Because it's like if you wake up and you feel really drained, it's like, well, maybe a succubus got a hold of you.
It could also be a way to explain wet dreams or sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
Or I really think it's a symbol of the religious sexual oppression or repression rather, where people aren't allowed to have desires. You're not allowed to have that, and it's in your it's in our makeup as humans to have sexual desires, to have lust. It's your whole point as a human animal is to eat, sleep, fucking die. And everything else is just icing.
Mm-hmm.
So you repress those human desires, and people have to find a way to excuse them.
Yeah.
And also, if there's one thing that fucking super stuffy religious dudes hate, it's really hot, groovy women. So if you find a way to explain away your desire and the fact that you spilled your seed on yourself in the middle of the night, and a way to make fucking, insert ancient biblical woman name down the street look bad because she has nice boobs, It's a fucking home run. It's the succubus. Blame the succubus. She's a demon. Burn her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here recently though, like in the more recent, they've made her look really, really attractive.
Oh yeah,
Well, that's what sells.
Yeah, that's because I mean, in the movies and the video games, she's in video games and the comics and all that stuff.
If you're watching this video right now, in the top corner, you'll see the picture of what I found on Google, and she is she's wearing thigh-high boots. It looks like a thong.
It's
yeah. So I don't know if
I do like how they describe that her private area as a cavern of ice.
oh
So if you want to put that shit on chill.
yeah,
cool out, motherfucker.
Everybody enjoys that.
I mean, anyway.
Did I just dump Yeti?
Yeti's like retracted statement.
I just have these things that are called inside thoughts that sometimes fall out of my mouth, and I've been trying to work on that lately.
Well, you could have a cold mouth.
I mean, a mouthful of ice is a wonderful thing, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, but
see, Johnny, you fucking made me look.
Well, yeah, I know. I mean, the most recent thing I've watched on with the succubus is the Canadian TV show Lost Girl, and it was like 5 seasons long, and it had a good finish. It was actually a decent TV show. I liked it.
He would have never watched that if Corona hadn't happened.
No, I watched it before Corona happened.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, just because I had nothing else.
On Netflix had Lilith.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is Lilith in Supernatural? And she
she's in Supernatural, but she's not a succubi or succubus. She's just a demon. Yeah, she was just a main demon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a lot of like later stuff, like a more recent stuff, Lilith has moved away from being a succubus and has just kind of become like a demoness figure or even like a dark goddess figure, which I am all on board with.
Yeah, I like that better a little bit.
Yeah, because like a succubus, then it got pushed into they got kind of like vampires, like I guess Stephen King made the reference that they're kind of wow, why can't I think of the word now? What's the vampire? Son of a bitch, help me out here.
Dracula?
No,
Dracula?
fucking
Salem's Lot?
An emotional vampire, or
energy vampire.
Psychic vampire, whatever. Fucking, thanks a lot, guys.
You're welcome.
I can't.
Appreciate
I'm
y'all.
sorry, I
I
didn't know
where you were going.
The succubus takes the energy out of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's like the psychic vampires that suck energy out of you. But
like what we do in the Shadows TV show, the energy vampire.
I don't know. Is that a thing? I've never seen it.
Oh, that's fabulous.
But
Must
I mean,
watch,
but that's
by the way.
They're out there where if you hang out with a person and then your energy's like really low after that, and that's what they call them. Like, psychic vampires, they suck all the energy out of you. They're taking your energy and feeding it to themselves or whatever. But I don't know. What is it, Yeti?
What we do in
like
the Shadows is definitely worth watching. I was just thinking about the fucking psychic vampire from there. Because he'll just start talking about really boring shit. He'll just start draining people, like everybody in the room.
Well, I kind of see Lilith. I think she's kind of rock and roll. She's kind of like the very first feminist, if you think about it. So.
Yeah, she actually is.
Yeah, she's like, nah, I don't think so.
And I think that was a way to oppress women, or whatever you want to talk about it, to be like, if you're this way, then you're considered a demon.
Yeah, you're obviously fucking on board with the devil.
You're horrible.
Absolutely.
You're horrible if you want to have your own opinion.
Women were free and wanted to be sexual and all of that stuff.
Couldn't have that. Got to control them.
Yeah.
Gotta
roll with an iron fist.
Yeah, because I mean, otherwise women would have ruled the world. Because I mean, come on, all the men would just agree with whatever they had to say back in the day.
Yeah.
It would just be a thing, But I don't want to get into religion. That's a fucking.
For the movie of the week. Tonight on the movie of the week.
All right, so we're moving in the movie of the week, Porno. Jim Jam, this is your movie, right?
I just picked it because it got a strainer. And it looked like I've been seeing a lot about it too.
No, but this movie is 5 teen employees at the local movie theater in a small Christian town discover a mysterious old film hidden in its basement, and it unleashes an alluring succubus.
Well, another porno.
There we go.
Hey, another reason I also is a horror comedy, and I really love horror comedy movies, so figured why not.
And even though the movie's called Porno, I mean, there's naked people in it, but it's not like a porno. Just clearing that up.
It's not a porno, but there's a porno inside the movie.
It's really not, though, and I wish it would have been more. I mean, the movie itself that they find, that movie reel, that Lilith is trapped in, I think it would have been really cool with this satanic ritual that if they would have had. That's the time to use sex. That's when it would have been fitting in a movie.
I want to see because that in its entirety.
Yeah.
Just by itself.
Do you think they made that, or sure they had to make a long version and just cut it in or whatever?
Well, not necessarily.
Maybe if you buy the DVD, maybe it's on there.
I mean, I imagine they just did them parts and it was like, here you go. Like, why would they do a longer version if not needed on a limited budget?
I don't know. I would complete the ritual. Fuck it.
Yeah.
You've already started.
Why
You've already went through all that complicated shit. You might as well go through with it. Finish the fucking ritual.
But yeah, so the movie, how does it start out? It's just a group of kids in the. I don't know how it starts out exactly.
It starts out with.
Oh yeah, they're watching the people have sex.
Watching people fuck, yeah.
Yeah, I guess there's your porn.
Yeah.
I guess
it's a clever opening.
Basically, I feel like they're trying to establish that every one of these kids that works at this theater is raging with lust. Whether if it be watching somebody peeping through somebody's window, having sex because they wish they could, being in love with one person while the other person has a secret because they're lusting after something else. It's just, and that is what I think brings about Lilith, because she's so attracted to that lust and they're raging with it, all of them.
Yeah, and they're all so fucking repressed. Because they're all super religious, and their boss is like fucking Ned Flanders.
Yeah,
it's just so everybody has these totally fucking normal desires, but they've been so repressed that they've become their own little dark secrets and their own little perversions, and they're completely fucking normal.
Oh, and this movie's based in 1993 because of the movies that were out. It was Encino Man and
League of Their Own.
And A League of Their Own, just so we're clear. And I don't know if y'all seen the No Fear shirt, but
I did.
That's totally 90s. Totally fucking 90s. I was like, holy shit, they pulled out the No Fear shirt.
Well, what else?
They were showing two wholesome movies, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also the VHS what is it, camcorder they showed, that was 90s for sure.
Oh yeah,
motherfucker that sits on your shoulder.
Had one of those.
Takes a full VHS tape.
Hell yeah.
So basically, they're working, and at the end of their shift, the manager says, "All right, guys, it's Friday. You get to watch one movie, after they close." And so while they're deciding which of the two movies to watch, we're introduced to, all the characters. And I have to say, Heavy Metal Jeff was my favorite. He's the projectionist.
I fucking hated that guy so much.
I'll get into it. But an old man comes running through, and he's in the theater, and basically, they think he's drunk. I'm wondering if he was possessed. And he uncovers a hidden, boarded up doorway that leads down to the basement. And so they go and explore it, and they find an old movie theater down there. And what they learn in time is that they used to show porns down there and stuff, and that old crazy guy used to own the theater and stuff. And so the fun times ensue.
I love how they come. They're like automatically digging through. It's like all these milk toast little sentient jars of mayonnaise, and they're like in a smut theater and just digging through all the tins, hoping for one that's still good. That was
I don't even know. Yeah, because at first I don't even think they realized what they stumbled across and everything. I didn't get that impression, and a bunch of the reels were all burned, and until he sees one that's kind of starts glowing, and that's the ritual / porn, which isn't really much of a porn.
Would you call that a Skinamax movie?
Not even that, barely. We do get to see some Franken beans in this movie, which is something that doesn't happen too often, and but that's about it.
When you said that, that totally brought back. I was like, I totally forgot about my nitpick of the week, and I just remembered it. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Wait,
I was thinking
bigger or what?
No, it's not. It's not to do with the male member. It's the female. But anyways.
I really like how they develop the characters, even though it's like I don't know, they seem like really boring people, but they on the surface they're just they're just white bread, but they develop them really well, where even though they're still really fucking boring people, they kind of got you invested.
Well, they're from a really small town that has a theater that has shows two movies. So it tells you how small of an area that they're in. You know what I'm saying? You got the one girl that listens to I can't even think of the damn...
The Cure.
Yeah, The Cure. And she does her eyeliner.
I have permission to wear this eyeliner.
Yeah.
Or listen to The Cure.
Yeah, because it's that small town, where you got the guy that's on the baseball team, and he's really good, and Heavy Metal Jeff, but that doesn't know everyone calls him Heavy Metal Jeff. Nobody calls me that, and then they're like, "Shut up, Heavy Metal Jeff." It just, to me, it just tells me that they're just small town. They have nothing going on.
Yeah.
Do all of them have secrets in this, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't all have secrets. They all have a fucking repressed desire that's eating away at them.
Mm-hmm. I have to say though, this movie felt long to me. I found myself really looking at my watch and wondering, okay, I felt like let's move it along. I don't know why, but there was just something that just dragged for me watching it.
Yeah, it kicks off pretty quick.
Yeah.
But somewhere in the second act, it just kind of drags.
And it's just, and I thought it was weird that, which one was he? Todd. I think Todd is the redhead. He disappears for a huge chunk of the movie, and that's unexplained. Where'd he go? What's going on? And that was kind of weird. I kept thinking, where'd he go? What's going? Where's he at? What's he doing?
Well, they ran off and left him when they barricaded themselves in the room. Then he got taken by the old man.
Yeah, but I don't know.
But it's
That
like,
just felt like it dragged on, and
yeah,
Well, that whole
all
office
that,
part did drag on. Because it's
yeah.
like, oh, well, we found the camera. Oh, well, what's on the camera? And then, you know, when it's kind of like,
I will say there were a couple really funny scenes for me. I think one of the funniest was when they came in and, you know, they kept debating because you had Jeff that didn't, he wanted to stop the movie and they couldn't stop the movie. And so anyways, the part where he walks in and then you do see the close up of the guy's privates and his reaction, that was really funny and for me. And then when the manager was in the stall and Lilith is doing something sexual to him and he explodes and then they all like kick back and jump at the same time, and I even was like, whoa, during that scene as well. And I really liked those two scenes a lot. I thought that was funny, but I don't know, I wasn't overly impressed. It didn't make sense. I mean, like, so going back to like Lilith, they talk about Lilith comes to you in your dreams, but all these guys are awake. She's just, you know what I mean? I mean, not to be all technical, but
it's even like Todd, they put him into an alternate universe. You know what I'm saying? Like, they open up some sort of thing, and then they go into it, and I didn't quite understand the whole Todd being a succubus in that universe. He was going to kill them and that, and I guess that's what she feeds off of.
Kind of taken over by.
Yeah, he had given up. He had given in, and she had him, and those guys didn't belong in the hell dimension. They kind of snuck in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, though, but, like, if you're there, that means that she has your energy. Like, that keeps her alive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what how does she stay alive? I mean, if she's killing people, like, she exploded the manager, and I'm just like, well, why would you have exploded him? I mean, it looked really cool.
I mean, because she can do that.
Because plot. I don't know.
Demons kill indiscriminately, sometimes, and that's.
Well, but I mean, but if her goal is to stay alive and to stay, succubus sucks energy. They get the energy out of you to.
Yeah, but all those guys were giving in to her.
Yeah, true. I guess yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They were all full of lust, and so she's feeding on that.
Besides the one guy, right? Did the one guy give in to her?
I don't think he did because he wasn't attracted to a woman.
Yeah, he did. I mean, kind of.
Oh,
I mean, in the end, the baseball guy.
The jock.
The gay guy.
Yeah.
Didn't they turn him? Didn't she turn into a guy or a picture?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was enjoying it the most, I think.
That was kind of one of my favorite scenes in the movie, where he was like, he's really getting down with this
5 more minutes,
dude.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, I'm gonna ring the bell. Whoa, hey, wait, just a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
The dance that he was doing is one of the ways that they actually suggest that you summon a succubus.
Oh, really?
Is that they talk about, like, if you want to summon a succubus, if you're so inclined, it's actually you light some candles, set the mood, and then you rub some oil all sensual on your body, and then you start kind of moving around and thrusting to, like, tease the succubus.
Nope. I feel so awkward.
And then you go to bed and you dream about the succubus coming to you. And
I feel so fucking awkward.
You just see fucking chest hair matted with oil.
Yeah. Tucker would be like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Tucker slide right off of you.
Yeah, he would look at me
like a slip and slide for Tucker.
Doing the dance from the fucking Beavis and Butthead movie, just.
God. But this movie did have a good special effect.
Heavy Metal Jeff, right?
On Heavy Metal Jeff, yeah.
Okay, this part I wanted.
That was so unexpected.
I had a weird thought when this happened,
which part?
and
The heavy metal Jeff where his nuts exploded.
Oh yes.
I never thought about this during the movie, but when this happened, I'm sitting there thinking, oh yeah, the gay guy is like undoing his pants, and heavy metal Jeff is tripping like, dude, don't do this, man. You're gonna like be attracted to me or something. But that ain't the part. But I'm sitting here thinking, I even tell my wife, I hope they show his nuts. I want to see his nuts exploded. And good Lord, they did, and it looked realistic as hell.
So you had a problem with the size of the Johnson at first, and then to see the nuts.
And then he wants to see more nuts. Okay.
Yeah, we got you, bud.
You know what? We accept everybody for who they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. If you're a ball man, that's fine. Totally fine. I guess I understand it.
It's okay.
Yeah. I think that kind of brings me to a point on accident. Because this movie, like, in the end, it was all about accepting that you're a fucking flawed human and you have desires.
Yeah.
And that's the only way they got around to, like, their happy ending or whatever, was everybody just kind of accepted who they were. And the Chastity learned to accept baseball guy for being gay.
Yeah.
So
I think they all kind of did,
Yeah.
Didn't she try to kiss him or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was like, I got a girlfriend. I don't want to be with you.
Well, go on.
Your feelings.
That was funny, though, that, I guess, but that in them times, how small-minded Jeff was, he thought that, like, if a gay guy seen a penis, they automatically were just...
Oh, it's sexual.
Yeah. And that one guy was like, that's not how that works.
Well, I that's just a great example, though, of just being suppressed and overly religious and in a smaller kind of conformity of religion, and
and Jeff had really fucking pinned himself in. Like, he had another layer of self-suppression on top of it.
Yeah.
With being a fucking edge kid.
But
if you like Johnny, if you like balls so much, you should, or sorry, not Johnny, Jim.
Yeah.
Jam. You should get yourself a hairless cat. It just looks like a sack.
That's gross.
Yeah. I don't want to spend money on an animal. Like, buying one. I don't want to.
Then you have to buy sweaters for it to keep it warm.
Oh, you could be Tennessee horror shirt.
You probably got to oil it down.
But if someone gave me that cat, I would gladly take it. But
I think there's a lot of work into taking care of a hairless cat.
I'm not going to go out and buy no animal that costs $500-600. So it's like, I don't want it that bad.
Probably more than that.
Mm-hmm.
When there's so many animals out there that need rescued. But
that's what I mean. Adopt one.
Yeah, it's rare to find a hairless cat to adopt, I think.
There's plenty of shelters.
You don't want a hairless cat. You don't want a hairless cat.
I just wait till Joe Exotic gets out and I buy a tiger cub from him.
Oh,
that motherfucker ain't getting out.
Anyway, sorry, back.
Hey, I'm good at bringing it back.
Yeah.
In the back.
So, but the special effects on this movie were really good. I enjoyed it. What was everyone enjoyed the movie? Like, I mean, it was a good movie.
I mean, it wasn't perfect, but I had a hell of a lot of fun. Had some laughs. It's a good time.
Yeah, I had some laughs. I was a little bored.
As far as, like, Fangoria movies go, for the past, like, Cinestate and Fangoria they did Satanic Panic, and then this one. As far as I prefer Porno over Satanic Panic.
Really? I'm the opposite. Yeah. I like Satanic Panic better than this. I didn't understand what the fuck I was getting into. Like, I liked it well enough, but I thought it was going to be like closer to House of the Devil than The Babysitter. So. Yeah.
But it wasn't bad.
No.
I think I like this one better, though.
Well, one part of the movie for me, I'll go ahead and get into my nitpick of the week. When it showed Lilith, her nether region, it looked like they glued on a rug to her vagina area. That
They probably did. I mean, it could have been fake hair.
Oh, it definitely was. There's no way that she had that. Yeah, even '70s Bush from old porno movies didn't look that fake.
I don't know.
I mean,
70s was definitely fro.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was also like really well shaped. So, I mean,
well they cut
I mean,
it. They cut it
had a
good.
groomer.
They cut it good, but it still looked like a fucking rug glued onto her.
It's probably more of like a underwear type deal.
Yeah, because I'm sure she didn't want to be full lips out, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, you wasn't gonna see him anyways with that, bud.
Well, that was the point.
That's the point.
I mean, I guess that's why it's a nitpick.
Do y'all not realize the point of this nitpick?
Yes, I do. That's why I pointed it out.
But yeah.
So, yeah.
There you go.
Porno. Yeti wrote a review on it that was spoiler free. So hopefully you read that and didn't listen to this if you haven't watched it.
Yeah. If not,
I don't think we talked too much about it.
No,
you know, like
we just
too much
talked
detail and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't like it was in an order what we was talking about.
That made me look like I love balls and penis. You know that.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. This maybe lets you know that you can accept yourself. We're all accepting of it.
Yeah, we have the road to fuck. Try this one more time. Exception is the road to success.
Yeah. So, $20, Jim Jam will.
So yeah, that's all we got, y'all.
No.
No, we're not done yet.
Yeah, he about to spit out his drink. He spit out his drink. But Angela has a couple of movie recommendations. Sorry, I'm laughing at Yeti. If you've seen the video of that, holy shit. Go ahead, Angela.
I thought I'd recommend two movies, maybe that people haven't seen or heard of that I thought were kind of fun. The first one, I don't know if you guys have seen it, Another Evil. It's on Shudder. It's a dark comedy. Basically, the synopsis is after encountering a ghost in their family vacation home, a couple hire an exorcist to get rid of it. They soon realize that ridding the home of the evil spirit will be more difficult than imagined. The guy who performs the exorcist supposedly is the energy vampire from What We Do in the Shadows show.
Oh.
I saw that a while back. I think that's a fun little watch. The other one that I'd recommend that threw me off, I just had it on and I don't know why. I really, really dug it, is Lady Vengeance. It's a South Korean psychological horror. It's on Shudder and Tubi. And it's basically the lead character, after being wrongfully imprisoned for 13 years and having her child taken away, a woman seeks revenge through increasingly brutal means. So both descriptions are kind of blah, but they're both really good movies. I thought I'd throw out there for listeners. They want to check out something different.
Is that kind of like Old Boy?
No, it's not. So no, it has such a different feel to it. It has almost like I don't want to say campy artistic feel. It's just really cool the way they do it. And she's in prison, so you kind of get to see these other stories. It's almost like a Kill Bill kind of a feel to it a little bit. Yeah. So I think maybe you'd enjoy it. That's on, like I said, Shudder, or if you don't have Shudder, it's on Tubi. So
what was it again?
Lady Vengeance.
Lady Vengeance.
And then the other one was Another Evil. So if you kind of just like the humor of Murder Party and Gravy and Tucker and Dale, you might enjoy this one.
Okay.
Well, I enjoyed Murder Party and Tucker and Dale. So.
Yeah, it just kind of has, something isn't quite right. Things, I don't know, it's just good.
All right, cool. Yeah, definitely check them out. I'm glad y'all can remember movie titles because I can't. Like after I watch a movie, I don't remember a lot of times the fucking titles. It's so hard for me.
Books.
With what? Books?
Yeah, with books. I'm real bad.
Yeah, it was like we watch so many movies over the years. I have no clue unless I see part of the movie and be like, "Yep, I remember watching that." You know what I'm saying? Like otherwise, maybe that's a me thing.
No, they have to, unless they really stick out to me. I'll kind of look at them. Hey, did I see that? And I'll give it. I have to give it 10 minutes or so. You know. There's a few that stick. Kind of like Unlisted Owner. It definitely sticks out in my memory banks. Remember that one, Johnny? It was a fucking terrible film. I can't even.
No, Angela, you should definitely go watch Unlisted Owner. You got Amazon Prime.
Yeti has a book.
See, you done talked about Unlisted Owner, and we done left.
Freaking forget it.
We done fucking with Mars.
Past 10 minutes, and all I hear is about, oh, this is such a good movie, and it felt so cheap and cheesy and poorly done.
Yeti has autographed DVD or Blu-ray now.
A chance, and I think I tried again. I still couldn't make. I was just like, ugh. And it's one of those movies where it's like I want to see it again and try to get through it. Just because I will. You know what? It might still be on Shudder actually, or somewhere.
Yeah, you definitely need to let me know what that is, because you got to have them terrible movie nights.
I think it might be on YouTube.
Well, there was one movie it took me 4 times to watch. It's a local movie called Morbid.
Yeah.
It was... Whew. Yeah,
I watched it in
Did Chuck finally send that to you so you can watch? I wonder... I'll see if he's got a YouTube version of it to get a link to you.
It's a $500 movie.
Well, I'll send it to you too, Angela. You can check it out. But it's a no-budget horror movie.
Again.
Yeah, he had like put $500 into it.
It
didn't bother me as bad. It's over the top.
Well, they show how they made a certain prop, and they used a garden hose and Play-Doh to make a very large penis.
And it shot out a lot of blood.
Yeah, because the guy eventually gets it cut off. What?
No, yeah. Easy on the...
He's trying not to be an asshole.
Anyways.
What's up, everyone? If you're watching this on video, you notice that my shirt's different. The audio crapped out on us at the end, so we couldn't do an outro. And it's just me, and I just thank you for listening. We couldn't use that audio. It's just too bad. It's just too bad. You know, and if you're watching this, you know, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, your enemies, whatever. And thank you for donating on our Patreon. You can, Alex, anyone else can go and donate. Wes and Isaac, thank you so much. And just please help support us. We got merch at TeePublic. Got this cool shirt on if you're watching. Pulling it all the way up. No, but thank you so much for listening, guys. That's all we got. Peace. We're out.
We have had a doozy of a day.
What an excellent day for an exorcism.